The high-ticket sales industry is undergoing a massive shift. AI tools are getting better at conversations, better at follow-up, and better at booking appointments, the exact same thing that human setters are being paid to do. But here's the thing, I'm not gonna tell you that AI is completely replacing appointment setters, but I'm also not gonna tell you that it's just all hype and not pay attention to it. What you need to understand is the psychology behind why some appointment setters will get replaced while others will become more valuable than ever before, and exactly how to position yourself on the winning side of this shift. Hey, what's going on? My name is Aaron Martinez from the Remote Closing Academy, and we've trained thousands of appointment setters and closers in the high ticket space over the last handful of years. And today I want to break down the new reality of appointment setting in 2025 and how you can stay ahead of the AI curve. So let's talk about the state of the union of appointment setting in 2025, right? What is the current landscape of appointment setting in the high ticket industry? Right now, there is massive demand for appointment setters. We have coaches, consultants, agencies, and all these course creators all looking to scale their businesses, and they need people that can manage their DMs, qualify their leads, and book sales calls for them. Think of it like this. There are thousands of Instagram influencers and business owners that are quite literally sitting on gold mines of followers, but they just don't have the time or the skills to convert those followers into customers. And that's exactly where you as an appointment setter can come in, where you're basically the miners to extract that gold. But here's where things get a little interesting, right? AI tools can now handle basic conversations, they can follow up automatically, and even qualify leads based on certain criteria. It's like having a 24/7 appointment setter who never sleeps, never complains, and costs a fraction of what a human does. From a business owner's perspective, the math is compelling, right? If an AI can book more appointments at a much lower cost, then why wouldn't they make the switch from appointment setter to just AI? When I think about it, AI really has three main advantages that make this question inevitable. First off, they have unlimited capacity, right? While a human setter might handle, let's say, 50 to 100 conversations a day, an AI can handle thousands of conversations simultaneously. It's like comparing a small bucket of water to an ocean, really. Second is the consistent follow-ups with AI. Studies show that 80% of sales require at least 5 follow-ups, but 44% of salespeople just give up after 1 follow-up. AI never forgets to follow up. It's programmed to be persistent without getting discouraged like a human does. And thirdly, they have 24/7 availability. When a hot lead messages, let's say at 2 a.m., the AI responds immediately. In a world where speed to lead is absolutely mandatory, this always-on capability is a major advantage.
Now you're probably saying, Aaron, where's the good part? As an appointment setter, where do I fit into this? Why isn't this all doom and gloom?
Well, here's the reality check. AI has significant limitations. I mean, number one, it thinks linearly in one line, it struggles with context, and it can't truly understand the nuanced needs of the prospects, especially when it comes to a high-ticket price point. Think of it like a train. It is very powerful, but it's confined to its tracks. When a conversation veers off of those tracks that's set to, AI often falls apart. Now, if you are an aspiring appointment setter, I need you to listen to this. This is going to create massive opportunity for human appointment setters who understand how to leverage their uniquely human abilities. The appointment setting role is not disappearing, it's just evolving like anything else in life, and those who evolve with it will become more valuable than ever before. So this brings me to point number 2, is how to become irreplaceable, right? What does the new appointment setter model look like in 2025 and beyond? Now, the key to staying relevant isn't fighting against AI, it's evolving your role to do what AI can't. So let me just show you exactly how to become irreplaceable in the age of appointment setters. First of all, I need you to be aware of and start developing critical thinking and contextual understanding. This is your superpower as a human appointment setter. While AI follows predetermined paths, you can understand nuance, read between the lines, and adapt to unexpected turns in conversation. Think of yourself as a jazz musician, for example, rather than just someone that's playing sheet music line by line by line. The AI can play the notes as written, but you can improvise, you can feel the rhythm of the conversation, and you can create something unique in that moment. Here's exactly how you're going to implement this. When a prospect asks you an unusual question or raises some sort of unique objection, take a moment to understand the underlying concern. Is this person worried about the commitment? Do they have previously bad experiences? Are there budget constraints? Then I want you to tailor your response specifically to that underlying concern, not just the surface level question. So for example, let's say someone asks, what happens if I sign up today, but I get busy with other projects? And AI is going to have some sort of generic answer about flexibility, but you can recognize this as a concern, right? About time commitment and the value, and respond with something like, hey, that's a great question. And it shows that you're thinking seriously about this. Many of our most successful clients were extremely busy when they first started, but what we found is that our program actually creates more time for you within the first 30 days because we help you eliminate the low value activities that are currently consuming your schedule. So that's step number one, is just understanding and creating that critical thinking and responses back and forth based on the conversations. Second is I want you to become what is called a triage appointment setter. Now, this is really the most powerful way to add value beyond what AI can currently do. So think of yourself almost as like an emergency room nurse. When patients come in, the nurse doesn't immediately send everyone to the doctor, right? They assess each patient, they send the critical cases directly to the doctor, and they can treat minor issues themselves and then redirect non-emergency cases elsewhere. As a triage setter, you do the same thing with these leads, right? Some leads are obviously qualified and they go straight to the closer. Others, they need a quick 5 to 10 minute call with you to determine if they are a good fit. Here's exactly how to implement this. Propose a triage system to your client or the offer owner where you handle both DMs in Instagram as well as short qualification calls. Then what you're going to do is create a simple script for these calls with about 5 to 7 key questions that determine if they're a good fit. During these calls, you're going to listen for both the explicit and implicit signals of qualification. So for example, explicit signals are things like budget, timeline, right? When do they want to get started, and their specific needs. Implicit signals, however, are their tone, how they're talking, right? How are they talking about previous investments? What is their level of commitment? And then after each of those calls, you categorize these people into 3 buckets. Number 1 is, are they ready for the closer, which means they're fully qualified. Bucket number 2 is that they need nurturing. So there's a potential there, but maybe not quite ready yet. And then number 3 is that they're not a good fit. You just redirect them somewhere else. Maybe the client has a YouTube channel, for example. This system ensures that closers only speak with highly qualified prospects, dramatically increasing their close rate, and at the end of the day, making more money for you as well. The beauty of this approach is that it makes you so much more valuable than an AI or a basic DM setter. You're not just setting appointments, you're protecting the closer's time and improving their conversion rate. This not only justifies a higher compensation package for yourself, but also makes you so much harder to replace. Now, the third thing I want you to focus on is being proactive rather than reactive. You see, AI is primarily reactive. It waits for incoming messages before actually engaging. You can differentiate yourself by just being proactive. It's kind of like the difference between, let's say, a security guard who just sits behind the desk, waits for problems, right? Versus, let's say, a security consultant who actively identifies, okay, what are the problems? I want to prevent these issues before they actually come up. Here's how you're going to implement this. Instead of just waiting for DMs to come in, actively engage with your clients' followers, right? When you're in their Instagram account, comment thoughtfully on their posts, respond to stories with valuable insights, and create outreach strategies to warm leads. Literally just reach out to their followers. You want to develop some sort of system where you're actively reaching out to, let's say, 20 to 30 new potential leads every single day with personalized messages based on their recent activity and their content. Also, just create a strategic follow-up calendar. Don't just check in with generic messages like just following up, right? Each follow-up should provide new value, a case study maybe of someone relative to their success, or maybe even some sort of thought-provoking question that moves the conversation forward. By combining these 3 approaches, right? Critical thinking, triage setting, and the proactive outreach, you create a value proposition that no AI can currently match. So let's jump into the third part of the video here, guys, which is using AI as your secret weapon instead of fearing it. You see, what the smartest appointment setters in 2025 and beyond are going to do is that they're going to use AI as a tool to enhance their own performance. This is how you turn a potential threat into your competitive advantage. Think of AI as your own personal assistant rather than them coming in to replace you. I said them as a sentient being. Just like any great executive at any company, they don't fear having some sort of an assistant, right? They are leveraging that person to become more effective, and you can use AI to become your own super powered version of yourself. So here's a couple different ways you can use AI to your advantage. So first off is I want you to use AI, whether it's ChatGPT, Claude, or whatever, for your own conversational analysis and improvement. Let's say you have conversations with prospects that they don't convert into appointments, right? You can take the entire transcript of your recording, put that that into ChatGPT and ask, hey, so as a professional appointment setter, how could I have handled this conversation better to make sure to book the appointment? It's exactly like having a world-class sales coach like a Cole Gordon in your back pocket, reviewing your performance after every single interaction, giving you specific feedback on how to improve your approach. Over time, this creates a rapid learning loop that helps you develop faster than any other appointment setters out there who aren't leveraging AI. So for example, I'll just tell you of one of our RCA students is that they were struggling to get prospects. Like they would get the initial engagement, but then when it came to the follow-up call, that they would ghost. So all we did is took a couple of the conversation, put them in ChatGPT for analysis, and discovered that he was just being way too aggressive with the scheduling in the first interaction instead of building value and building trust. But after adjusting his approach based on this feedback, his booking rate increased from like 10% all the way up to 35% of people he was talking to were booking as appointments. Second, as I want you to use AI for personalized outreach and research. Now, before you reach out to the potential leads or people you're following up with, you can actually feed their entire social media profile into an AI and ask to identify their likely pain points, business challenges, and potential objections based on their entire industry. This allows you to start conversations with insights that feel almost psychic to the prospect instead of generic outreach like, hey, just saw your profile, thought we should connect, something stupid like that. Instead, you can say something like, hey, I noticed you've been posting about scaling your coaching businesses. Most coaches at your stage struggle with converting followers into high-ticket clients without spending all day in the DMs. Is that something that you're experiencing too? And then lastly, you can use AI for follow-up optimization, right? Create a library of AI-generated follow-up templates for different scenarios, then customize each of them for each prospect. The AI can generate the base template, but then you add the personal touches that make it feel more human and specific to that prospect. This is like having a team of copywriters working for you, creating perfectly structured follow-ups that you can then infuse with your personal touch and contextual understanding of the entire conversation. Now, the key insight, guys, for these 3 points is that AI should be your tool, not your competitor. The appointment setters who thrive in 2025 won't be those who ignore AI or fight against it and hope that it goes away. They'll be those that leverage it to enhance their uniquely human capabilities. Like imagine, it's like the difference of having, let's say, a carpenter who refuses to use power tools. They only want to use the old school hammer and, screwdriver versus the one that uses the power tools to create masterpieces way more efficiently. The latter will always outperform the former, creating more value in less amount of time. So if all that being said, you are someone that wants to stay ahead of the curve and learn the skill sets of being the proper and best appointment setter that you can click the first link down in the description below. It's going to bring you over to our full-on appointment setting and remote closing course that I promise you is less than anything that you'll find out on the market, mostly because we don't need to make sales. We're kind of just giving it away at this point. So you can click the first link down in the description to learn more about that, or you can click the video on screen now, and we'll see you guys on the next video.